Who should take responsibility for the death of two City of Joburg firefighters? Do firefighters get the recognition they deserve? What are the risks involved in firefighting? Do cities have enough systems in place for disaster risk management? Hello and welcome to the program. My name is Wielligh. In from Port Said today, two firefighters have died while attempting to put down a fire in seven-storey building in Johannesburg, CBD's von Wielligh Street. This incident has brought the life-threatening risks often faced by firefighters under the spotlight. This tragedy occurred within about 2 months after a fire ravaged the city of Cape Town's Muizenberg area. It then spread to neighboring areas and destroyed 13 properties in the process. Firefighters worked around the clock to put down the blaze. Subsequently, due to the intensity of the inferno, support of firefighters from other provinces became inevitable. But is the role of firefighters fully recognized? Well, a reminder that you can call us and air your views. We are available on the numbers 011-714-6841, 6842, and 6843. All right, my guests today are Mr. Robert Mlaudzi, who is the Media Liaison Officer in the City of Johannesburg's Emergency Management Services. Mr. Mlaudzi, good to have you.
Evening.
And then we have Paul Tlabang, who is the Deputy Regional Secretary of the South African Municipal Workers Union, and he's here in the studio with us. Hello.
Evening, sir.
All right, on the line we have Theodore Lane, who is a spokesperson for the Fire and Rescue Services in Cape Town. Mr. Lane, good evening to you.
Good evening to you too.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Let's start with you. We'll come to Johannesburg right now because that's the latest story. But let's start with you. You've battled the blaze in the Western Cape. You know the challenges that are there. But do you get a sense that firefighters are respected and accorded the recognition that they deserve?
Well, I think firefighters normally take it for granted that they are not recognized for all the good work that they do. And it is also a profession that firefighters get into, not looking for recognition per se. But obviously, now and again, it is nice to note that people are actually noticing that you are doing something good, especially in the various communities that we work in.
Why do you get a sense that you do not get the recognition that you deserve when you're doing such a risky job?
Well, most of the incidents that we respond to is usually under stressful conditions for the individuals involved. And the last thing that is on their mind is actually to recognize the firefighters for the work that they do. So firefighters will go about their daily business, going, sorting out other people's problems, and because those people have got problems, it is not something that they will recognize immediately that they need to actually thank the firefighters. Although on many occasions we will get owners of properties of various kinds coming to fire stations and personally thanking firefighters. But it's, however, not that often that we actually experience it.
Mr. Mlaudzi, do you concur?
Yeah, I think it's our work. It's not really your 9-to-5 job. Where you go to your office and do what you're supposed to do at 5 and you leave. It's more than a career. You don't really have to be expect a lot of. I think maybe thank yous to say, people to appreciate what you do.
But is it the kind of job that you take because you can't find any other job, or is it the job that really is inside you? Have passion for it. Do you have to have passion for it?
Exactly. Yeah, you have to have passion. That's why I say it's more than a career. Your 9-to-5 job where you go and do what you're supposed to do. So you'll have to have yes, you'll get paid at the end of the day when you have done whatever you have done. But it's more than that because. We spend a lot of hours, you risking your life on a day-to-day basis, whether you're responding to a fell fire, responding to a burning building, you driving on the road with your emergency vehicle or an ambulance. So every time when you're out there, you put your life in danger. If you come to the service for a salary, you might actually die before you even get your first salary. That's why I say it's it's for me, I've got a different view in terms of I don't really expect people to thank me on what I do. To be honest, like I because I know there won't be people who not everybody will expect to will thank me for what I've done.
It's a risky job, but what do you do when you leave home in the morning, knowing that you'll be coming back, or you might not even come back? Your colleagues are.
Yeah, you see, the very same question you're asking now is like, what happened on Sunday? On Sunday we actually lost our colleagues. I'm sure our colleagues, when they left home just like any other day to say it might happen. Like all of us, we knew when we joined the service that you might die anytime.
All right, we'll come back to you right now, because there's a lot of discussion that we have to have about that fire on Saturday. But let's go back to the Western Cape. So what happens then when you leave home, Mr. Lane? What goes through your mind, really?
Okay, the first thing that you do is obviously you know that you have to have a family that actually they with what you are doing. They understand what you are doing. So when you leave them in the morning, there's always the possibility that something can go wrong during any course of any fire. So you're leaving there and them, in the fact that your training, your abilities, your experience, all of those things are going to actually guide you to keep you safe as the day progresses, as the incidents come along and you respond to it. So you're leaving in good faith that all of your training and all of those things are actually going to help you, to guide you, to basically keep you safe, and then be able to come home to your family again. So you always leave home with the thought that you are going to be spared to come back and see your family at the end of your shift.
All right, thank you very much. Theodore Lane there is the spokesperson for the Fire and Rescue Services in the Western Cape. Thank you very much for joining us. We continue, but a quick reminder that you can call us and air your views. We are available on 011-714-6841, 2 and 3. Question time takes a break. Don't go away.
Information-hungry viewers stay with SABC News, as issues on the West are different from issues on the East or here in Johannesburg. So it is not surprising that people who follow the news know that there are two things for sure: that anything can happen, and SABC News will tell you when it does. Because we keep the nation fully informed. We are SABC News.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. My guests today are Mr. Robert Mlaudzi, who is the Media Liaison Officer in the City of Johannesburg's Emergency Management Services, and Paul Klabang now, who's joining us, who is the Deputy Regional Secretary of SAMU. And of course, we had Mr. Lane earlier on the line. He is with the Fire and Rescue Services in Cape Town. He's gone for now, but I have the two gentlemen with me in the studio. You can call us as well if you're at home, just to air your views. All right, I do have a call from Vosloorus. Let's take that call. Sam, I think. Sam on the line from Vosloorus. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you very much. Your views on firefighters and firefighting?
No, I've been not on the firefighters. I just saw the way people they are working. What I'm going to say is just to ask Mr. Mlaudzi just to beef up the security clothes workers. Maybe even like they are wearing clothes to go to the fire, to those places, dangerous places, more especially equipment. If ever they can beef up only to the equipment, I think is that the death of one of their colleagues is just that accident. You see, anyone can get such a thing like when you go to work, you don't expect things like that. But you said sorry to the family, and they will back up on that one.
All right, we got you. Thank you very much, Sam in Vosloorus, because that's the story, Mr. Tlhabang, that I want us to talk about. You have a different view to actually what has become known about the fire in the CBD in Johannesburg. What is your understanding of how events happened there?
Okay, no, thanks, and thanks to the viewers. But let me just first express condolences to the families of the 2 firefighters that lost their life in that unfortunate incident. And wish the speedy recovery to the 4 of our colleagues also that were hospitalized because of the inhaled smoke during that fire incident. We firmly believe that what happened on Saturday was not supposed to happen. If proper standard operating procedures were followed, that could have been avoided. So
you have the view that the SOPs were not followed?
Yes, basic SOPs were not followed.
Why? Why do you say that?
Look, the first firefighting crews that arrived on that scene, they did the correct thing, just to first assess whether it is safe for them to enter the building or not. Because you understand that the fire was at the basement. Now there are no windows where you can get your ventilation, so you can get a clear visibility. Now what in that situation, what is expected is that there will be the firefighters or the supervisor will then apply what is called a mechanical ventilation, where they will then put smoke extractors so that at least they are able to take out that smoke that is hampering visibility for firefighters to get inside. Now, firefighters did the right thing by assessing and then took a conscious decision to say it's not safe for them to get inside. Now, what then happened, the standby officer was called and he arrived 45 minutes later. He was given a report back about the situation prevailing. And instead of, applying his mind properly into the situation, because he was now having this information at his disposal to say, how then do I approach this situation? Now, instead, he ignored that and he insisted that the 2 firefighters from the station where he's operating, which is Fairview, to say they must get inside.
All right, just hold that thought, Mr. Tlhabang. Let's go to the line right now. Thabo, you are in Mpumalanga. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Go ahead.
I'm fine, man. Yeah, I think it is high time that the firefighters we must take seriously.
Are you a firefighter yourself?
I'm not a firefighter, but I just want to appreciate the job that they all do. Especially, I know a guy who is a firefighter. A day won't go past by without even saying being proud of his job. And I just want to thank him for that. And he must carry on doing the good things that he's doing. His name is Wielligh Muturelwa.
All right, Thabo.
Okay, and then you can let people appreciate all what these people are putting their lives on fire.
All right, Thabo. Thank you very much. Thabo is in Mpumalanga. But Mr. Mlauzi, how do you appreciate this trade when, for instance, you do not get the support system? I mean, here in Johannesburg, for instance, there was a report that suggested that 1/3 of fire engines did not work last year. I don't know if they're working right now. Morale is so bad that some firefighters fake smoke inhalation. Those are some of the problems that when the engines do not work. I mean, how do you then prepare yourself to go to work when you know exactly that you'll be faced with not just the challenges of fighting fire, but the challenges of the system that is not working?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good afternoon also to the viewers out there. I think firstly we want to send our condolences as emergency services and senior management and EMS family to the affected families of the deceased firefighters who passed on Sunday, early hours of Sunday when we were fighting that fire. Yes, we want to acknowledge that our service, it's one of the biggest services, not only in Gauteng but in Africa. So we will now and then be on the spotlight, depending on the service we render. We render our service 24 hours, 365 days of the year. So we will always have challenges. We accept that we do have challenges in terms of service rendered, because the organization, as huge as we are, will have those challenges. I think the question should be, what is it that we do about those challenges? For instance, if you're talking about, for instance, equipment, and also the equipment which the firefighters are supposed to wear when they go into a building. I think we make sure that a policy is followed all the time when we respond to an emergency. I think it was unfortunate that the way reports, especially specifically with the fire which happened over the weekend, that the firefighters were not properly dressed. I think it created a lot of confusion to the communities out there to say that the firefighters were not properly dressed. I think it's incorrect. My friend there, my leader, I call him my leader, he knows very well that the people, when they went in the building, they were properly dressed.
Okay.
They had breathing apparatus.
Let's take a quick break, because I want us to come back and talk about who should take full responsibility for this. Because as far as I'm concerned, right now, hearing this latest development, somebody made that call that they need to go down there, whereas the first crew had assessed the situation and felt that it was not safe. All right. So just hold that thought also, because we want to talk about your engines and so on and so on, and the kit that firefighters wear. All right. This is a question part time. We're taking a break right now. Please make sure that you start dialing that number. We'll give it to you again: 011-714-6841, 6842, 6843. Those are the numbers to call. Question time takes a break. Don't go away.
Your World makes it its business every evening to round up the leading local stories and international news to keep you informed all the time.
Make a date with Your World every evening for all the news headlines around the world to keep you abreast with knowledge.
Catch Your World for headlines across the world every Monday to Friday from 9 p.m, then Saturday and Sunday from 7 p.m.
Welcome back to the third and last segment of Question Time. Today, my guests are Mr. Robert Mlaudzi, who is the Media Liaison Officer in the City of Johannesburg's Emergency Management Services, and Paul Tlhabang, who is the Deputy Regional Secretary of the South African Municipal Workers Union. All right, so we're still asking, let me start by you, Mr. Tlhabang, who should take responsibility for the accident that happened, if it's an accident at all, that happened on over the weekend that claimed the lives of 2 firefighters?
Management should just take the responsibility.
Why do you say that?
Look, it is clear that what happened there, it was just pure negligence. Pure negligence in a sense that you can't get into a building because it was a fire call. You can't get into a building only wearing protective clothing, as my colleague has alluded. But then you get into a hot zone or a fire situation without a charged hose. That will actually make your job easier to fight the fire once you arrive at where the fire is.
So this is a serious allegation that you're putting forward. As the South African Municipal Workers Union, it's a fact. So it's a fact, I'm told. So how are you going to deal with this? Because it needs to be taken forward, and it needs to be taken further up, if it means that, right up to the office of the Premier, if it means that, because then we are saying that the City of Joburg's emergency services then has collapsed.
No, definitely, because really we can't allow these situations to happen, because this might not be the first and the last. if this thing is not attended to, and urgently so. And all what we want to see is that we want full investigation around what happened.
All right, so are you, Mr. Mlauzi, are you going to launch that investigation? By the way, at home, you can call us as well. We are available. We'll give you the numbers just now. If you're at home, just call us quickly if you want to participate in this discussion. There are the numbers at 714-684123 as well. It's a Johannesburg area code 011 +27 if you're outside South Africa. Mr. Mlauzi, are you going to launch an investigation?
Yes, I think firstly, let me say that we take responsibility of what happened as the City of Johannesburg Emergency Management Services. I mean, as an employer, you cannot run away from the situation that now the situation is like this. I think that is the reason why we say we take responsibility is that we have already initiated investigation in terms of the cause of the fire itself, the causes of which caused the two firefighters to lose their lives on that building, and also we don't want to, because we don't want to be a player and a referee and a coach and everything. That's why we have invited other stakeholders like your Occupational Health and Safety, Department of Labor, so that whatever recommendations, because we still have to get a story from the incident commander, of which my learned friend here is talking about, to say he still has to give reports. Okay. That reports will form part of that investigation, which talks to your Occupational Health and Safety risk, whether decisions which was taken by the incident commander, and also the recommendations from the report which we'll get from the labor. Out of that report, obviously, we'll have to take, decisions going forward as to what are the lessons which we have learned going forward, so that the deaths of these two firefighters actually makes us to improve on the other aspects where we were lacking. So I think we take full responsibility of what is happening, and then we also want to people out there to actually give us a chance to deal with the situation.
All right, we got you. Mike is in Protea in Soweto. Mike, hello.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to present a question on the gentleman. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Mr. Mlauzi from the City of Johannesburg.
And Mr. Paul, yes. I heard you said it's negligence on the part of the guys. I don't understand when you say it's negligence, but because I don't think a man will risk his life going in there knowing that he got the equipment available. So how can I go in there knowing that I'm in danger but not carrying equipment? So that means the guys went in there without any equipment, because if the equipment is available, sure, I would take the equipment. So for them to go there without, that means there was no equipment available.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike in Protea in Soweto. Do you want to respond?
I think Mike was not really listening to what I said. He didn't listen to what I said. You see, you can get, in our service, you can get the best equipment you can get. That equipment will be complemented by the actions of the user. So the equipment is not going to be user-friendly to a person who might be panicking.
Okay. But do you concede that what happened is the emergency services in Johannesburg is in disarray? Do you concede that there are problems, serious problems, such that qualified and people with experience have left the service because they feel that they cannot risk their lives like this?
Yes, we do acknowledge that. And how a lot of firefighters have left. I think just like any other organization, just like SABC, even yourself today, you might be in Hyde Park. So we cannot question you that why are you in Hyde Park. So I think each and every person, as you grow in an organization, you will want to leave to go somewhere else. But now what the question we need to ask ourselves is, when people leave the organization, what is it that we do to replace that skill? And I can assure you now that if you go to our records and look at the registrations of even my learned friend here, he can also concur with that one.
Okay.
There's no other fire service in Gauteng.
All right.
Even in South Africa, where
unfortunately, we've
most
run out of
registered firefighters who are studying further.
Badly run out of time. I would have loved to engage you some more. But Mr. Tlabang, unfortunately, we've run out of time. Paul Tlabang is the Deputy Regional Secretary of SAMU. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. Thanks also to Mr. Lane in the Western Cape. Thanks also for making those calls. My name is Wielligh, and of course, that's where we're going to have to leave it for tonight. Question time will return tomorrow from 5:30 to 6. Good night.